Breaking news right now at 6. Federal prosecutors could be one step closer to making their case against New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell as another one of her close associates has been indicted.
We now know Randy Farrell will appear in court October 16th. He is a former New Orleans inspector now accused of multiple counts, including bribery and fraud. Our WDSU investigative team is breaking down every piece of the Fed's case that's laid out in the indictment. And now top city officials are implicated in those documents, including Mayor LaToya Cantrell. And now sources tell us Gilbert Montano, the chief administrative officer for the city, is also implicated.
And Montano tells us he is floored at these documents. We know Farrell is an independent inspector who worked in both Orleans and in Jefferson Parish. WDSU Investigates has also learned that Farrell is facing charges including forgery and conspiracy in Jefferson Parish. And in 2021, federal records show he pleaded guilty to tax fraud. He admitted to underreporting his income.
WDSU investigative reporter Cassie Sherm live outside of federal court. Cassie, these documents allege a wide-ranging bribery scheme.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot, especially when you're facing more than 20 counts. You have wire fraud, you have defrauding the public of the city of New Orleans, honest service fraud, just to name a few. And we've been pouring through these documents here, a lot of information, not looking so good in the sense of doing the right thing for the public. But one of the most important things that really stood out of these documents were the text messages that are connected to an alleged trying to basically get kickbacks when it comes to city officials and who those city officials could be.
Well, documents say in 2018 and 2019, Farrell worked with Businessman One,
who sources tell us is Fuad Zeton,
to provide Public Official One, who is believed to be Mayor Cantrell, items of value, including tickets to Saint Games, an iPhone, and a meal at a steakhouse, just to name a few. Charging documents show Farrell asked Businessman One to speak to Public Official One about terminating an employee who sources tell us is Jen Cecil, the former deputy director at Safety and Permits. The document states Farrell paid $875 for 2 tickets for Public Official One and Businessman One to attend a football game between the New Orleans Saints and Pittsburgh Steelers. That same day, Businessman One texted Farrell saying Public Official One appreciates it. Farrell asked Businessman One to talk to Public Official about what I asked. Please. Businessman One promised to do everything in my power today to talk to Public Official One about the issue at the game. Farrell repeated, saying she needs to go. Farrell added, because otherwise, I'm not going to support Public Official One. No more. This is the only thing we asked of Public Official One. On December 27, 2018, Farrell told Businessman One, tell Public Official One, just a reminder to can that blank. Businessman One responded, I'm going to see her office tonight. I promise you I'm working hard on this issue. It also states in documents Farrell purchased 17 tickets for Public Official One and others to go to New Orleans Saints games, spending nearly $6,000. That same day, Businessman One warned Farrell, I don't want you to say too much in the phone.
Now, our sources are telling us Mayor Cantrell is not the only public official who received tickets from these bribes. Now, according to these documents, Public Official 2, who our sources say is Gilbert Montano, the city's CAO, he contacted Businessman One about the January 13th, 2020 College Football National Championship game. In Businessman One, he responded, I'm trying to get them here for you before Friday. Farrell then ended up sending Businessman One 3 tickets to the game, and Businessman One sent them to the Public Official 2. Now, Farrell paid more than $3,000 for those tickets.
In another text, Businessman One says, I'm working on making you the king of the city of New Orleans, and I'll be your assistant king. Farrell replied, just get Official One to get her out, and we will be the kings of safety and permit. Federal investigators also found emails from Farrell to Businessman One with the comment, the blank is gone. Now, documents show the Official One instructed another employee to terminate Employee One, the same employee that Randy Farrell wanted fired, but she later resigned.
Now, we reached out to both Cantrell and Montano to see what they had to say after this, and Montano sent us out a statement saying that he was basically flabbergasted and very surprised. He said he's never been contacted by anyone or anything, and he says he does not feel like he ever met Randy Farrell. He says his goal is always to make things better for the city. Now, we did reach out again to the city to get the mayor's response, but we have yet to hear back from them. And I do want to make sure it's very clear no one else has been charged with this other than Randy Farrell. Everyone else has just been possibly listed as a source or as a connection to this. So reporting here in New Orleans, I'm Cassie Sherman. I'm going to send it back to you.
Cassie, thanks. The city did issue this following statement saying, out of respect for the courts and the legal process, the city of New Orleans will reserve comment on this matter until its full conclusion.